Welcome back to Celtic Park, where it finished Celtic 3, Dundee 0. I've got Kenny and Martin here with me to go over the game. Kenny, I almost got the team right. There was a few question marks in the defence. Phillips did start. Scales also started. And I think in the first half, we're still a wee bit slow, just lacked a cutting edge, didn't we?
I mean, I think coming into the game, me personally, I'm still looking for a bit of identity as to how Rodgers wants to approach games, because we had that battling victory last week, but that's a game in itself, right? In a regular league game, we've been pretty trudged, and I don't think in the first half there was any sign of any identity. I mean, Greg Taylor, I noticed, was coming inside, actually, inverted, quite deliberately, which I guess is a good thing, given how successful that was, but it wasn't successful there because Turnbull was really passive. I thought the balls to the back were pretty poor. Phillips was strong in the air, but he didn't look that comfortable on the ball. And the wide men were really poor in that first half. Yang is very raw. You can tell there's something. I can tell why they've been drawn to him, but a lot of his output's inconsistent. Maeda, his usual chaos.
He scored a lovely goal, though, but it was offside, of course.
Yeah, so there was nothing happening. But then in the second half, finally, I think we've maybe, I don't say it's a breakthrough, but you're starting to see something more akin to what you expect from a Brendan Rodgers side. I actually thought Lagerbielke coming on in the second half made a little bit of a change, because he was playing some nice balls out on that right hand side. Alistair Johnson came alive.
He was tremendous second half.
I mean, although he's back, he's not a pre-season. We forget that, you know. He's coming to life, which is a big plus for us. And then when Rio comes on, you're a different animal with Hatate on the park, and the whole thing opened up. So look, it was really nice to see those positives of the second half. And let's hope that the fitness of some of our key men coming back is going to set us off in a nice trend now.
Aye, let's hope so, Martin. That first half, we didn't really create too many clear-cut openings. Obviously, Maeda has a lovely touch and finish, but he's offside. But we get the goal early second half. Foul on Taylor, gives a free kick. The ref gives a free kick. VAR gives the penalty. Great time to get a goal right after half-time, and then that really relaxed us, and you could see the confidence coming back, the speed coming back. And as Kenny says, once we make the changes in the game, Hatate just changes the whole complexion and the energy in the stadium almost.
I thought, touched on the first half, as Kenny says, quite flat, sort of representative of where the season's looked like so far. We haven't been fantastic performances by any manner of means. What I would say about the first half is we're camped in their half. They camped, they parked the bus and they couldn't get anywhere near our half. But I did feel that a lot of it was going down the right hand side. Didn't feel as much coming through the middle at all, through Turnbull and O'Reilly. But second half, different proposition altogether. And of course, the first goal gives you that bit of confidence you're looking for. And we got the penalty, obviously, after a VAR check. But once that went in, I thought the whole of the second half was very enjoyable and a completely different game. And I felt it went really quick, that second half. I said to you at the game, Paul, it felt like about 5 minutes, that 45 minutes. Yeah. And there was patterns of play all over the pitch where were so unpredictable. It was coming down the left and the right, but a lot of play through the middle. Yeah. And as Kenny says, Hatate, what a difference he made. What a player he is. He is, by a country mile, our best player by CCV. By a country mile. Maybe Kyogo, you would argue, is up there. But Hatate, Kyogo and CCV are so pivotal to that team, alongside some of your players like Johnson, who obviously add value. Yeah. What we don't know yet is how much the new guys are going to make a difference, because they're still finding their feet. Yeah. Some of them we're seeing for the first time. So as Kenny said when he first came on, his initial comment around, we're still trying to find our identity. I mean, you don't know what team's going to turn up there. And I think it'll be a few weeks until we see what that Celtic 11 is going to look like.
Yeah, Kenny, the second goal I thought was lovely. The thing I liked about it, and credit the referee, but it wasn't a foul, but the Dundee players down and we keep playing. There's no reason to stop the game, but McGregor picks out a lovely cross and Kyogo times his run to perfection, a lovely wee nod into the corner. The third goal I thought was the pick of the bunch today. A lovely pass by Alistair Johnson down into the channel for Kyogo. A great run again, he just lifts his head, picks out a perfect cutback for O'Reilly to finish it. And then, as I say, the speed we're playing at after that, it looks like a proper Celtic team playing at home. I thought Johnson in the second half was tremendous. I think he hits the bar. He's one that clips the post at the end as well. A few lovely passes. He was brilliant in the second half.
I mean, sometimes it just needs something to alleviate the pressure, to allow you to play with a bit more freedom. The penalty, it looked like we needed something like that to get us going. I assume it was a penalty because it was in the box because of the VAR review. But I think the crowd got a lift after. The crowd was actually pretty flat in that first half. I felt frustrated, but you could sense the crowd giving the side a bit of energy. And they played with real fluency after that. As you say, Alistair Johnson is a superb asset for Celtic. I think he was a better player than Juranovic was. And as he gets fitter, he is someone that can represent us properly in the Champions League. O'Reilly seems to motor a bit more when those two fed each other, didn't they, for that third goal. Brilliant chip from McGregor into Kyogo. And I was glad to see Kyogo just come off, get him in cotton wool for Tuesday and give O a bit of an outing. I thought, was it Bernardo, the Portuguese?
Yeah.
He's got really soft feet, right?
Yeah.
He was trying to play some real intelligent stuff.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like he's maybe going to have much dig, but that gives us another option in there, because I don't think Turnbull, who's started a few games now, in that offensive position, is really giving us the out we need. It's contributing to a lot of the frustration.
Yeah. The only concern for me, Martin, would be about 15 minutes into the game, Kyogo goes straight up the tunnel to get his shoulder popped back in. I mean, that's got to be a concern. I mean, remember that there was a talk during the summer that he needed surgery on it, and we didn't do it. He went straight up the tunnel and the physio was pointing to his shoulder, and then he comes running back out 5 minutes later. That's not sustainable. But at the same time, we can't afford to lose him to injury. Aside from that, Palma on today, Kenny's touched on Bernardo. Don't know what to expect of these guys yet, but first few minutes, what do you think of them?
I'm quite impressed. I mean, I thought, quick feet, good feet, confidence levels are there, some good interplay, some good decision making. So, yeah, so far so good, but far too early. I mean, it's hard to judge a player. We've seen so many players come through the doors here who've been really poor to start. Obviously, the famous one we talk about all the time is Henrik, the magic Henrik Larsson. But I think we'll have to give him a wee run in the team. But early signs for me are good, and that's what excites me just now. We're missing, obviously, CCV big time. We've been missing Hatate because for whatever reason he's not been playing. But he looks like he's going to start giving it the team a bit more. But for some of these new guys, really excited to see what they bring, and I think there's so much more to come to that team with regards to strength and depth. And I think you said during the game, Paul, you look at the bench now and you're starting to think, yep, there's some reasonable options on the bench, not an outstanding bench, but big call out for Joe Hart today. What about that save? Joe Hart save.
He's having a great season, Joe Hart.
Yeah, I mean, obviously back-to-back clean sheets now, Kenny. Hart was really good at Ibrox, and not a lot to do today, but that save at 0-0 is absolutely tremendous. Gets a big, strong left hand up. And it's important for us to keep clean sheets. You don't want to be losing cheap goals, so that will help us.
Yeah, and I thought Lagerbielke looked a lot better there. I know it's okay, he comes on when you're winning at home against Dundee, but sometimes it can take, even our best centre-backs, it takes them a while to settle. Virgil van Dijk took time to settle. Julian had a nightmare start and then sort of became a hero at Ibrox.
Yeah, Starfelt as well.
Starfelt, another example. So hopefully, because he's looked really bad, he's looked really shaky up until now, let's be frank about it. That's presumably why he didn't start today. But he just seemed to play with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more energy today. And we need that, because I don't know if Phillips is injured, I don't know why he went off.
I don't know if that was fitness or injury or what.
But we need some stability at centre-back, so maybe it's a little bit of a turning point for him.
Yeah, Martin, Tuesday, we go to Rotterdam to face Feyenoord, opening Champions League game. Obviously huge excitement. I think Feyenoord have still got 10 minutes to play and they're 6-1 up. They are said to be missing some key players as well, but it's always tough going away from home in Europe, but massively looking forward to that game.
I mean, can't wait. I mean, these are the the games that we really look forward to. The highlight of the season, playing the Champions League, particularly at home, but away as well. You can't beat the away trips, can you? I generally going over there, not got a clue whether we could go there and get a result or go over and get absolutely, rogered. I generally don't know, and I don't know what Celtic team's going to turn up. I mean, we went to Ibrox not that long ago, did we? Nobody gave us a chance. Our own fans, their fans, the media, everybody thought it was just a foregone conclusion, and we go and get a result. Now, this isn't the Rangers. They're a wee bit better than Rangers, aren't they, right? They're a good team, and very rarely do you play against a Dutch team, and they're not, technically gifted, and I just don't know going into that game. I know I'm looking forward to it immensely, looking forward to being there, and I'm hopeful that we'll come away with some kind of result. I don't want to go there and come away with a narrow defeat and a sob story. I want to go there and get at least a point just to get the campaign off to a good start. And I go in there with a reasonable degree of optimism. Some of our big players are playing quite well. Kyogo, we've talked about Hatate, I hope he features, I hope he starts. Talked about Johnston, but all over the pitch, you're not really looking at any of the areas of the pitch where you're thinking there's a significant concern. And then we talked about Hart. There was a lot of criticism came in for Hart, so he's coming into good form now. Defensively, we're relatively solid. I know we still have some concerns at centre-back area. In the middle, I think we're solid, and we've got lots and lots of pace and energy in that team as well. Not just the Japanese players, but what they do is they run about daft and they bring a work ethic that's unrecognisable in this country. But what it does is it has a knock-on effect to the remainder of the team as well. So go in with a quiet optimism.
Yeah. Kenny, the only concern would be the defence in terms of continuity. They've not played together a lot. You think it might be the back four that finished the game that starts on Tuesday, and that might be a concern.
Yeah, Scales and Lagerbielke, they did look a bit more comfortable there. They've obviously had a couple of outings together now. Scales is a left-footed, which helps that balance. But it's a different animal, the Champions League, to Dundee at home. I really don't know how they'll stand up against the top side in Holland. That's going to be the big problem. I'm pretty sure we can, as Martin says, we can compete with our skill and pace in the middle of the park. Any team in Champions League is going to have to keep an eye on Kyogo.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what level you're at, he can score. So offensively, I can see us being combative. I'm a little bit worried about the centre-back here. Only time will tell. They'll need to be brave on the night and probably carry a little bit of luck. But we're probably, if we want to be realistic about maybe getting out the group, we probably do need a point in that fixture.
Yeah.
But tall order, let's face it.
Yeah. Last one today, Martin. Your standout, your man of the match.
I know Kyogo got the man of the match and I thought he played well. Tempted to give it to Hatate just because of the impact he had in the game. I know you don't often give it to a sub and somebody that's played less than half the game, but I just thought he had such a big impact, and we've talked at length about how poor the first half was versus the second half, so I'm going to be brave and bold and give it to Hatate if you don't mind.
Yeah, Kenny.
I mean, I'd maybe give it to McGregor. I thought he, in the first half, I wouldn't blame him for the sterileness in the first half. He was getting on the ball in his usual. I mean, I thought he was excellent actually in the international break.
Yeah.
And then in that, he had a wonderful clip to finish the game for Kyogo's second. So, no really obvious standout, but I would maybe give it to McGregor.
Yeah, it's Kyogo for me, no surprises. Like this video, comment your own thoughts in the game below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you during the week in Rotterdam. Thank you.